In this presentation, I want us to have a look at network models. In today's day and age, network models are predominantly done using computer software. Because of the different types of computer software that's used, we don't particularly focus on the use of software. This presentation is really looking at some of the general principles around network models and network modeling, highlighting their purpose and their benefits as well. So let's just take a look. So network models provide a visual representation of relationships, and they can be relationships between individuals, organizations, or even businesses. They're used by law enforcement, defense, national security as a way to assist in planning operations and tactics. They're used to understand how a social network is organized, or any network is organized. And so through doing social network modeling, we get that visual representation of the specific network in question. And we can also look at those links that put those individuals or organizations together as well, which is a bit more of a link analysis, which I'll come to as we go through. So essentially, as I said, they're a visual representation of the way that we can look at the relationships between organizations. So there are different types of networks. There's the social network, which looks at relationships between people or between groups. There's the organizational networks, which tend to look at communication relationships within an organization. Commercial networks look at alliances between different organizational companies, also supply chains and so forth. Financial networks look at the relationship of funds transactions, so between organizations or people. And finally, there's a threat network, which looks at people, organizations, or places that are identifiable, they're targetable and exploitable. So a threat network can also work in looking at the methods of communications, the basis of those communications, which we'll come to in more detail. But they're the different types of networks that you'll see, and the different type of networks you can chart as you do your intelligence analysis. A bit of a rough picture, but I want to talk a little bit about nodes. Now, nodes are essentially these shapes here. So we might represent an organization with a square, a person as a circle, and a person within a particular organization might be, as you can see, a circle within a square. So these are symbols so we can visually identify what we're looking at. And some examples over here include a person within an organization linking to another person, either probably outside that organization. Down here, we might see a link of a person to an organization, but not within the organization. And finally here we could see links between organizations, just denoted there by the squares. People have different ways of putting this across, but these are some common ways that we symbolize different types of relations. We'll come to it a bit more again, but these lines here are our links, and these links are sometimes just as important as actually the nodes. The links can tell us can be designed to tell us frequency of communication or the type of relationship that they may have. And so when we look at constructing network models, these links and an explanation of types of links are also very important as well. And they can be denoted in different ways, either through broken lines, thick lines, to show and provide an indication of the type of communication or relationship that they may have. So when we're doing network modeling, the first thing we need to do is to understand the particular network that we're wanting to model. We need to know the environment very well. We need to know the players involved, organisations involved. And to gain that understanding, some way around this is to begin to conduct a bit of a pest analysis, or a variation of those pest analysis which we've covered in earlier topics. So conduct a pest analysis to help you be more familiar with the organisation or the collective of individuals that you're wanting to develop that network model with. You can't do it without a good understanding of the players involved. The next step is to create a template. Now again, we've talked about that this can be, is usually done these days through software, through the Analyst Notebook for example, but there's a lot of other different software that will do that as well. So you create a template, or the software will create it for you. You populate that with the key members. You put in the nodes as well as the links of communication to develop that particular model. Now a rough model to look at here is this. This is just as an example. So we begin perhaps with this person here, and we want to know this person's network of other individuals. And so as we start to populate it, we can see that this person here has communication with this person, who has communication with this person. But we've established through looking through our network list and our links, our communications, that this person doesn't directly contact with that person. Over here we see this person has a link to this person, who then has a relationship with this person. And as I say, the link is the relationship, or it could be the mode of communication. Sometimes in an Analyst Notebook, for example, you might find these links are doubled up, or there's several links that might show the frequency of communication. In other models, if this was a strong relationship, then it might be a strong dark line. If it's a contentious relationship or a negative one, maybe it's done through broken lines. It depends on the type of design that you're putting across. But this is what a network chart may look like. And as I say, there are a lot more advanced versions that are done through computers. So the takeaway from this very short overview is that network modeling gives us that visual representation of key actors or organisations. It helps us understand the links between those people, and it is understanding those links that can best feed on to conducting other types of operations to perhaps destroy those links. So shaping operations or other means, or disruption. If you want to disrupt the relationship, if you know what the communication is based on, you can disrupt that relationship, or attempt to, by interfering with that mode of communication or that relationship that they have. So as I say, the modelling gives us that visual look of understanding who's involved and where they might sit in an order, and how they communicate. So with that, in the Interact site, you'll see there's a couple of activities and a few videos you can watch that will assist you to understand this further. The text also provides you with additional